What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very important warning about Tesla in the markets. We're seeing something new that's developing and some big news involving Tesla. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15. And the offer ends very soon in just 4 days. Anyways, for the markets, my initial thought process was that there would be a bit of a dip that's coming. I said to watch and see if we get some kind of bounce or not. And then I did anticipate a lot more chop than what ended up happening. We didn't really get that much chop despite the fact that we had a very balanced options chain. So the market is still showing a lot of weakness. And the question is, how is this going to be affecting Tesla? So I just wanted to say that Tesla is going to be announcing their deliveries report, giving us more information about how things are looking for their next report, which is going to be next week. It's going to be coming out around January 2nd or so. So that's going to be very important for Tesla. And the Q4 deliveries are going to be giving us more insights about how things are looking, especially going into next year when it comes to projections. Tesla has to get at least 515,000 to get a more positive number relative to last year. So hopefully we get a very, very strong push in their sales. Now, on top of that, when it comes to the overall market, there's not really anything too significant coming out in terms of data. So now let's talk about what's happening with the share prices for Tesla and the markets. So I am a little bit concerned about something. So Tesla had this big red bar right here, right? We came down and we started to form what looked like a cup, and then we were supposed to get like a handle to form just like this. We need to see a run next week for this to recover, but right now we're holding one main support at the 50 EMA. So the main support's at 432, and the main resistance is currently right over here. We have some resistance very close to about a little bit under 440. Then we have 446 as the next resistance. We need to get back above that to bounce. So I am a bit concerned because of what I'm seeing from the broader markets that could be affecting Tesla. So I think that this is going to hinge upon deliveries, which is going to be in a couple of trading days from now. But I do see some weakness in Tesla. If Tesla loses 432, just hypothetically, and then if we start falling, we're looking at the support right here around this like 415 area. We got to hold that. We have 420, then 415. If we lose the 415s, this is going to look like a double top, and then Tesla's going to start dumping to these lower levels. So that's the more bearish case. There's no confirmation yet of us losing 432 or even 420 yet to turn super bearish. We haven't done that yet. But the reason why I'm a little bit concerned is because of this. When you zoom out and look at the broader markets, okay, SPY is looking very weak now. We were trying to rebound. I was looking at this imbalance to see if we could push higher for a break of 603 or not. My anticipation was there'd be a small dip and then possibly a bounce, but instead of getting the bounce off either 598 or if not 595, we ended up losing 595. And I did mention that if we lost 595, we would turn a lot more bearish. In my video from yesterday, even though I wasn't really expecting it with as much conviction, that still ended up happening. So now this brings about the more bearish case. Despite how the market was pumping for the last couple of days, the problem we have is we had the all-time highs at the 606 area, very close to that zone around 608 plus. And then we dumped, right? We came back up and we're making a lower high on SPY. We're not breaking past these highs at 606, 608. We're not breaking past them. In fact, we made a lower high here and we rejected again. And then when you zoom out, this actually is now resembling a possible head and shoulders. This could be like a left shoulder here. This could be a head, and this could be a right shoulder on SPY. So not the best of signs. The 4-hour 200 EMA is at 591.89. If that fails us, this is going to be dumping, and there's going to be a risk of us coming all the way down to 585 or below. Okay, so there's going to be a risk of a lot more downside if we end up losing 591.89. If we end up holding above it, we'll have to see about that. But I just want to call out there's a possible left shoulder, head and a right shoulder forming, especially as we head into the next year. It's not looking too good, and the market looks like it could be looking for a pullback early going into next year. So not looking the best so far for the bulls. The bears are looking like they're getting an edge. Same thing with ES, exact same setup. We have this left shoulder. We have, excuse me, we have a head. Then we have this right shoulder. We need to hold 6,000. If 6,000 fails, this is going to be dumping easily all the way down to many of these lower levels, such as like the mid 5,900s. So just keep that in mind. For others, just know this. For Nvda, we look a little bit weaker. We're on a bit of a downtrend, making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. We tried to make a rebound move earlier into the week, only to reject, and now we're losing our 200 EMA. You want to see Nvidia reclaim 136.5 and then 138 to turn back up. If not, it's going to be a risk of coming back down to about 132 or below. So I'm sorry, 133, then 131 would be my targets. It does look a little bit more bearish if we're below 135. So be careful, guys. For Bitcoin, we look a bit more bearish. We're rejecting right over here. We need to try to reclaim 95,000. Otherwise, this is going to continue to fall back down towards 93,800 and eventually the 92,000. So be careful. There's going to be that risk of downside. Once again, guys, looking back at Tesla, as the whole market's dipping, Tesla's barely holding its 50 EMA, the yellow line you see right there. That's going to be our 432 area. We got to hold that, or else Tesla will dip more closer to like the 420 zone. So you got to be careful, guys. Hopefully, Tesla holds above 415 before deliveries come out. Otherwise, there's going to be a risk of more downside. For NQ, we lost the support at 21,800. So our main support's now at 21,560. We got to hold that, or else this is going to be dumping back down to much lower levels, such as 21,350. So let's see if 21,500 holds. Otherwise, there's going to be more downside. QQQ got a big rejection. We were supposed to hold support at 524. I mentioned I was expecting a test around 524 and to see if we get a bounce or not. Instead, we failed here, so now we're dumping more. We got to reclaim 524. Otherwise, there's going to be a risk of us coming back down to at least the 515 area, in my opinion, if not lower. So be careful, just that risk of more downside on the triple Q. On Apple, I called out a rising wedge instead of running more and breaking 260. We rejected. Now we're dumping to about 254. So there's going to be a risk of more downside. 251 could be coming next if we don't reclaim 255. For the IW Russell 2000, this was trying to bounce. It did not hit my target, and now it rejected. So unfortunately, we're barely holding 222. If that fails us, we're looking for 220. For Coin is looking a little bit weaker here. We're on a bit of a downtrend. Got this rejection. We were supposed to hold 273 because we're not holding it. We're looking for 268 as the resistance, and the main support's at 263. So if that fails us, we're looking for a dump to 257. For Amazon's looking a little bit weaker. We're on a bit of a downtrend. I want to see it reclaim 220, the 223-ish area. Otherwise, there's going to be a risk of bigger downside. It's going to be dumping back down to 220, eventually the 218 area. So look for some downside between those levels. For Meta, we are forming a distributive pattern right here. We were not able to hold above 600. So we're looking for a test of 588. If that fails us, we dump to about 583. So it looks a bit more bearish to me. Microsoft looks more bearish. We lost our critical support. So we were range bound for like almost a week, and then we just lost our 200 EMA at 431. So we got to reclaim 431, or else I could be looking for a test of 427. That's previous resistance becoming support. And if that fails, it's looking for 425, followed by 422. So be careful. Google's rejecting. I did call out the possibility of a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder. We're looking at support at 192. We got to hold that, or else this could be dumping to about 188. Unfortunately, the Bears have a bigger edge. The VIX is breaking out right now again. Looking for round two. Unfortunately, it is more of a weaker sign for the Bulls, and the Bears are getting a stronger edge. So we'll see how well SPY holds its 200 EMA. As far as Tesla holds, we'll have to see if we could try to hold above 432 or not. Watch resistance close to 440, and we'll see if 432 holds. If it doesn't hold, there could be a bigger risk of more downside as we get closer to about these lower levels, such as 425 and eventually 420. And if we lose 415, we will turn a lot more bearish. We haven't really lost critical support on Tesla yet, but just be careful, guys. I'm just here to give you a warning looking at how the broader markets are looking. Anyways, I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Thank you and peace out.